This is not a test. This is rock and roll.
I wake up every morning in a bed that's too small, drive my daughter to a school that's too expensive, and then I go to work to a job for which I get paid too little.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'm making waffles.
You're waking up with the Morning App on 90.5 WASU.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Morning App. Hope you're all very cozy and not snowed in anymore. We had a bit of a break on Wednesday, and we had to kind of skip a day since classes got canceled. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie too much. That was kind of nice to be able to sleep in a little bit.
It was perfect because I was like, I really don't want to go to class today. I'm really just needing a day off. It was like midweek and it was perfect. So
A present from Boone.
yes, sure.
Here's one day, not the whole day, just half a day.
Have a little bit of
Take it
sleep.
off. Exactly. It was awesome. But yeah, we have today Katie, Natalie, and me. Josh is out doing basketball stuff, I think.
Sports ball.
So some sports stuff. But we do need to fill you up. We had our zombie competition, our fantasy zombie league that we all participated in on Monday. We couldn't get to telling the results on Wednesday, but today we have the final results and who is the winning team. Katie, if you want to tell them the big news.
No, I was victorious. I'm pretty excited about that. Everyone
Voted for your team.
that I had the worst team, but you know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was exciting. But so Natalie, what did you think of the team since you didn't particularly have a team necessarily?
I think each team was very typical of the person that was picking.
That's fair, yeah.
It fit each one of you in your own little way. A little bitter that Taylor Swift was not drafted, but it's fine.
It was one of those things that
Things. It's fine.
Sorry about that.
I watched Bird Box for the first time just a couple days ago,
Yeah?
so I got to see Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
And the guy that Josh was all obsessed by, I can't remember what his name was. He was
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's crazy in that.
I get it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sandra Bullock,
Yeah.
I would trust her in Apocalypse.
The queen.
Oh yeah.
We
Oh
trust
yeah.
the queen.
Well, she's just so good at being the authority
Yes.
figure in any of the movies. Have you seen Ocean's 8?
No. Is that the
Okay.
new Ocean?
Yes. The new Ocean's
Yo.
with the all-girl
A
cast.
legend.
What?
I love those movies.
Okay.
No.
I thought
No.
like, yo,
I've
and so I
only
was like,
seen
okay.
Ocean's 11, but it was so fun.
yeah.
I didn't know they kept
No.
making them. There's
Yeah.
more?
Yes, there's more.
Bro.
I think
Happens
they even had Ocean's 13 and
Yeah.
Ocean's 12 and yeah, you're kind of missing out on those. But
am.
but yeah, Ocean's 8 was one of those that people were kind of expecting to be a lot worse. But I think Sandra Bullock honestly just pulled her weight in that and made it what
She's
it was.
just really good at playing
Yeah.
a legend all
yes.
the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a very strong woman, and it really shows through in her acting. But yes, speaking of zombies, I have this thing where I get really anxious about waking up on time in the morning. I know a lot of people probably have that too. Where I'm just so worried that my alarm's not going to go off, that the volume's not up on my phone, that I forgot to set it, just random things, because that's all happened before. And so then I've gotten to this point where it's really weird. I was too embarrassed to talk about this before on the air, but so I will wake, I think I'll have a dream that my alarm went off, and then I remember turning it off and stuff, and I remember my alarm going off. And I remember fully thinking that it is the time that I was supposed to wake up. But it's 4 a.m., okay? So it's definitely not. And so the other day, I actually got up and took a shower at 4 a.m. because I thought that it was 6 or 7.
What?
Yeah. And then I was I remember when I got out, I was such in a daze. It was 4 a.m. No one should be awake at that hour anyways. And so then I go and I looked at my phone and I was like, oh my gosh, I can go back to sleep. And so I did. And then when I woke up in the morning, actually, I was like, well, I don't have to take a shower now.
Just run straight out the door.
Yeah, it saved me a lot of time. But I was just how does that even happen? And get up and like text people too back, you know, because I'm thinking it's the morning, so I was like, oh, let me like text people back that texted me after, 10 p.m. because I was asleep. And so it's like, I texted my aunt the other day at 4 a.m. Or it was, I don't know, I think it was probably 3 or something. And so she, later on in the morning, she's like, you were up late. And I was like, not really. I just woke up again, did the thing again where I wake up thinking it's the time. And I texted her back and then realized what time it was.
Man.
But it's just like, it's a really weird thing, and I don't know how to stop myself from doing that. Like, just take my phone somewhere else where I can't get to it and, like, text people back.
Yeah.
It's not that I ever text anything weird. It's just weird hours, you know? I'm not actually awake.
Do you feel like when you do get up at that time, do you feel like are you tired or?
Yeah, but I'm always tired in the morning. You know, like your alarm goes off.
But
and
the stress cancels out.
Yeah,
the
I was just like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I think
weird.
so, because I think in my dream cause that's the only way I can explain it, because I wake up convinced that it's the time. I don't even think to check it, but it's really weird. I don't know. But yeah, and
The first couple of times I was assigned to the morning show, I consistently got up at like 4:30 because I would wake up and be like, I'm going to miss the show. And I would just sit there. I couldn't go back to sleep. I would just sit there and worry. And then I was like, okay, this is an acceptable time to get out of bed. I'll go.
Man, it takes very little. Like, even if you get a new job, especially, or if it's class or something
or
like
a
that.
test. Any day that I have a test.
Dude, I feel like anytime a new semester starts, I have I have a series of dreams before the semester starts where I just mess everything up. I go to the wrong class. I wake up late. I signed up for pottery instead of something I needed to graduate.
Oh my god.
You know?
Yeah.
Not that pottery's bad, but I need to graduate.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even think pottery is offered here. Maybe in the arts.
That's interesting, though.
But I definitely feel that and a lot of adults will say that they still have vivid dreams
About college.
That they're missing their classes and that they'll wake up freaking out.
Who, your parents?
Just adults.
Adults.
My parents,
I've
but
heard
like
adults say
I've
that.
heard
Really?
many adults say that they still wake up in just with a start, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've missed class, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm 40 years old. I don't have my
The time has passed to be
Yeah,
worried about
I've already graduated like 20 years
I
ago.
have my degree.
Oh my
If
gosh.
that's happening to them, I know that's going to happen to me.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get up in the
That's
morning and take a
fun.
shower, get my backpack all ready.
I've
my
also
gosh.
heard of adults. I mean, I do this too in the summer when we're like not having classes, but I've heard that there will be like times when they wake up and they're like, oh, I have an assignment that I completely forgot about. I have to go do it.
Oh my gosh.
Right now, I have to go wake up and get my laptop and start typing like the cat that procrastinated, and then that's
The cat that
fear.
procrastinated.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. Wait, what?
There's a tiny little video. I don't know what it's called, but it's like the cat is watching The Office.
Okay.
And then his alarm goes off and says, term paper due, and it's like 11:59. So the cat's little eyes get big, and then it like sweeps everything off of the counter and whips out the laptop and starts typing really fast. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Oh.
Her eyes just got really wide as she was saying that. She was like, ha 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 ha. Oh man, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like her whole voice changed.
Well, the only
We
thing that
believe you, Natalie.
Thank you.
the only thing that could be better than that, possibly, is the potential Jonas Brothers reunion that we have got to talk about on the show, and we will talk about it after this break.
Morning App on 90.5 WASU and WASUradio.com.
Boy, I hope you got our SOS because we have a major problem in the
I don't
Disney
think
Channel
this is a
dynasty.
problem. This is not a problem.
No, well, not the Joe Bro thing yet. We got to talk about something right before that. There's a new Kim Possible movie that I forgot was happening, and apparently it already came out.
Yep.
It's live action.
Yes,
Did
a
you see
live
this?
action. Oh
It
yeah.
was poorly done.
Yes.
You
Wait,
both
Natalie,
saw
did
this.
you see it?
I made the choice to not watch it because I was so upset by the promo for
that's
it.
fair. So no, yeah, Disney decided to make a new live action Kim Possible movie for Disney Channel. So it was just like a Disney Channel original movie. And so the cast, like when they released the pictures of the cast, people, just got all upset because it was like, I don't know.
Nobody asked for it.
First of all, nobody asked for it. But it was, if it had been better.
We wouldn't have asked for it unless we knew they were going to put like high quality attention into it.
Yes. And
They did not.
no. It was one of those things that it was very much so a Disney Channel original movie, that kind of level of production. And for something as iconic as Kim Possible, we really deserved better,
They just threw it away.
The one thing that really got me was the naked mole rat. I don't know why they didn't just use an actual rat at that point.
Oh, it's
because
CGI, wasn't it?
It was terrible. It was just the weirdest looking thing I've ever seen. Honestly, they just should have gotten an actual, an actual mole rat, put it in, kind of just let it
Wander.
squirm around or whatever it does. But it would have been way better than whatever the CGI disaster was. It just did not look.
Not Rufus.
When things are CGI most of the time, I'm not expecting Infinity War level CGI, but at least just anything better than what that poor naked mole
that
rat
bad?
was. It was so bad.
I'm trying to see if I can find it.
Yeah, it
Still.
was just so cringy.
Rufus deserves better.
He does. And then they added a new character, sort of. The Athena character, I don't know if you saw any about that. I was trying to figure out who she was, because it's been a long time since I've seen the show. And so I couldn't remember if she was a character or not. But basically, I don't want to spoil it, but I don't know if anyone's actually going to watch it that's listening that hasn't already seen it.
If you
Yes,
are
okay.
trying to watch Kim Possible's new movie.
This doesn't really ruin it, though, because this was already spoiled for me before I watched it, because I was looking up a bunch of stuff. But the girl in it, she becomes Kim Possible's friend, right? They meet at school because they both really didn't make any friends. And so then Ron, and Athena, they all start hanging out. But then Athena's like, oh, I'm such a huge Kim Possible fan. Oh my gosh, this is the best day ever. I'm friends with Kim Possible. But then it's later revealed that Athena was an advanced android built by Dr. Draken to steal Kim Possible's spark or something.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't a bad plot. The whole reveal was actually pretty well done, I think, because it's not something you were exactly expecting, like a whole android plot in the middle of this Kim Possible movie that was already going. It was just, anyways. And so that part was decent, but it was just so. It was like, where did this character even come from? At that point, it seemed like it should have been someone who was actually in the show, for them to put her as such a big role in this movie. But then there was this weird part at the end. Oh my gosh, my roommates and I were screaming. There was this big explosion, and Athena ended up sacrificing herself for Kim Possible, of course, And so then there's this big explosion, and so she was presumably dead, and they hear this voice, and it was just coming from the rubble, and it was her head, just Athena's head, because she was an android, so that, anyways. And so then Kim Possible picks up the head and is talking to it, and there's just this big cord coming from the bottom of it, and it was just the weirdest thing ever. I'm telling you, she was just holding this head and talking to it, this android head. Oh, it was terrible. That was it was just anyways, it was one of those things that my roommate and I were talking about it. I was like, okay, if this had come out when Kim Possible, when we were young, and Kim Possible was still cool to us, and they had done, like, it would
Yeah.
have been the coolest thing ever. We probably would have enjoyed
Yeah,
it, but if it had been done just a little better, if they put a little more effort in, because I don't know. I don't know. It was
It's
just,
not that Kim Possible isn't cool. It's just they didn't put any effort into it.
because I'm all about the newer generation getting to experience the Kim Possible story, but not like that.
Yeah. It seems too late in the game. I mean, I always wonder, like, what if we're just old? You know?
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah, no.
I mean,
What if we're just overly criticizing?
But like, if you go
critically
back and
seen?
watch the old Kim Possible movies, or like the Lizzie McGuire movie or something, like if you go back and watch those were good.
Yeah,
Like even by our standards
it's
today,
true.
it's not
They
that we
hold
got
up.
old.
Xenon,
Oh man,
bro.
yes,
haven't heard
All
that
of
name
the
in
Disney
years.
channels. They're amazing.
I haven't heard that name.
Xenon. I bet you I could hum the theme song if I really give me a segment and I'll think about it. I'll see if I can remember.
Okay. The next
It had a
segment we'll
catchy
have
theme.
you sing it. No, but anyways, at least we do have some good news in the Disney universe that the Jonas Brothers might actually come back on tour again.
Whoa.
And so it was one of those things that I think it was U.S. Magazine or something that they originally put out the article, but it's very vague, all of it. It says like multiple sources have confirmed, but no, it doesn't say who the sources are. Just a lot of people have been saying that it's happening, but it's all very vague. So I'm really hoping this isn't a tease, that we're not being
It better not be a Super Bowl
no
SpongeBob
Mike.
moment, because they would make
No, not
so
again.
much money
Yeah,
off this after
yeah.
seeing Jesse McCartney here.
Yes.
Oh my God! Imagine 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
they're legends.
They are. No, they are. And who's the one that has? Oh, Nick Jonas. Doesn't he have music out now that's like fairly popular?
Yeah, Nick Jonas, and then
Joe has his little band thing that he
Yeah,
just
the
sings.
Joe's in
DNC, yeah.
You call it dance? I don't know. But they did Cake by the Ocean. That was a
Yeah,
pretty
Cake by the-
pretty big hit.
Yeah, and so they have their own successes on their own. So they're even pulling in both of those fan bases too, as well as the classic Jonas Brothers, SOS, Burning Up,
The
all those.
classics.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh.
Just still
They're all
so good.
dads now, right? Like I don't even. Well, I think
Stop.
one of them is a dad. I think.
It's just
Kevin?
Kevin.
It's
Yeah.
Kevin.
But
Kevin's
Kevin
the
was
older.
like way older anyway.
Kevin was ready to get married, like in the middle of the
Yeah.
band. He was just like,
Yeah.
"Dude, I'm done with this." Like,
No,
I
but he
made
had
enough
a
money.
reality show, didn't he?
I think
did.
so.
Kevin, yeah. I never saw it. I didn't have much
I think
of
I watched
interest.
like 5 minutes of it one time.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
they were entertaining, I guess.
Do you remember the Jonas show that was on?
Yes, with that blonde girl.
Oh my gosh!
That was an interesting era.
That was one of those that even then I knew was
Yo.
bad. I just,
yeah.
they did not do that well at all. It was so cheesy.
I did not. I forgot about that completely. That's like
Yep.
Camp Rock kind of
Well,
level
no,
of
because
flashback.
that's what they're going as. They're not gonna, if they go on tour, they're not gonna go as the Jonas Brothers. They're just gonna go as Jonas. And seeing
No.
that name just triggered me, and I was like, "What? Why is this? Why
Yeah.
do I feel uneasy?" And it's because of this show, Jonas. Oh goodness.
Oh,
Yeah, we didn't need that.
no.
Man.
No.
Well, hey, you know, with some bad news, there's always some good news that
Yeah,
follows up.
yeah.
So I'm curious. I'll be looking into the news for that, keeping up with something like that. But we have I guess, middle school Disney Channel
Yes.
nostalgic flashback playlist here for you. So it's Wake Up, Hillary Duff. We'll be right back.
Morning App on 90.5 WASU and WASUradio.com.
It's time for some pointless debates. Every Friday we get together and we debate stuff that doesn't really matter, but it kind of does, because we are curious to see what you guys think, you know? It could be anything. And today, we're trying to figure out what's the best way to eat a banana that's not perfect, right? Something that's not right down the middle yellow. Whether you prefer it slightly green or slightly on the side of, you know, with a little brown
Speckled,
spots.
yeah.
Little speckled brown spots around there.
So it's basically like ripe, or like, I guess like unripe versus like a little
old.
too ripe.
Almost ripe.
Right.
This is too ripe.
I guess so.
Too soon or too old? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Too fresh.
But
Yes.
we're not talking about like just all the way green bananas or like super bruised bananas that just look like they've been beat up in an alleyway. We're just talking about just slightly. And so my roommate, actually, she posted this on her Instagram story a couple weeks ago, and it was one of those things she was expecting everyone to say, the like speckled ones, you know, the slightly brown spotted. And when a bunch of people put green, like that they kept choosing the like slightly green, she was freaking out. She's
Yeah,
like,
it's weird.
what the heck? This doesn't make any sense to me. Because I was one of the ones that said slightly green. And she's like, Katie, I can't believe this. Why do you even think that? And so it's something, I don't know, I never thought about, I guess, people having different opinions on.
Yeah.
But
That's like if you were trying to eat a cinnamon bun, but you like took it out of the thing, you know, the thing that pops open, like the...
What?
And then, but you don't cook it, you just eat the cinnamon bun
What?
dough. That's
Hold
what
on.
that seems to me
I'm
when you're...
confused now.
No. It's like, it just doesn't seem right. If it's slightly
What
green,
kind
it's
of
going to be
cinnamon bun
like...
is he talking about?
It's like not ready.
I
You
know-
don't-
I know what you're
You know what I'm
talking
talking about. Like
about.
the
I know what you're
Pillsbury Doughboy...
It comes in a
comes in
long
the
tube,
tube.
and you twist it, and then it opens, and then you take the dough out and you lay it out, and then there's icing in the very end of the tube, and at the end of the baking process, you get to slather it with sugar.
So I'm
It's great.
thinking like people that eat green bananas are in the first like they don't cook the...
You think they're unreasonable?
It just doesn't... I
Do
don't know.
you think it's
I'd
the
rather-
equivalent of them just eating straight dough? Is that
It's just the logic of it. Like, I'd rather have a slightly overcooked pizza than an undercooked pizza.
Sometimes, yes.
You know what I mean?
I think it's very much so a taste thing, though, because they taste different when they're slightly
It
either
tastes
way.
like the earth.
Like
they
the
don't
earth?
they don't come from the earth, do they? They come from a tree. They
Well,
come
then
from
the
a tree.
trees from the earth. I
It's just-
think.
It tastes like nature. It
I-
tastes too much like nature
Yeah.
if it's still
Well,
green.
See, my thing is, I just like it when they're, because I usually put bananas in like peanut butter banana sandwiches. I do. That's a lot of the times what I use bananas for. And I'd rather, especially in that case, have them, when they're slightly green, they're a little tougher, I guess.
Easier to cut.
And so they easier to cut, and they kind of stay better. They're not so just mushy when you're putting them on the sandwiches. And so most of the time, that's why I pick and it's hard to really have a choice with bananas, though, because it's such a game. I'll like see that they're still green, like way too green. I'm like, okay, well, I won't eat them today. And then the next day, they're just like completely brown.
Done.
I just don't understand what kind of window I missed here to just completely miss even the speckled phase. We just went straight to, I don't know. So sometimes you really don't get a choice, but when you do have the choice, I'd rather
What do you
have them.
prefer?
Yeah. And also some of it too is that I always forget that I have bananas. All of my roommates get bananas. We all get bananas at the store. And so we all have to label them with our names because we always forget whose is whose. And if I don't label mine with my name, then I forget that I even had bananas. I forget that I even bought them. And so we always forget. And so then when I do remember that I have bananas, then it's usually when I see that they're slightly green, I'm like, okay, I have to eat them now or I will forget.
All of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Right now.
I only
All of your
usually get
bananas.
2 or 3 at a time, so it's not an insane amount of
Like,
bananas.
you're gonna eat like 2 bananas max. Like you're not gonna have more than that. So, if you have a whole if you have like a 6-pack of bananas,
A 6-pack of bananas.
bananas are the 6-pack of fruit, really.
Okay.
And then but you only had like 2
The
a
6
day. Then it's gonna get old pretty quick,
Yeah. But even just eating them in general, I think I still do prefer them slightly green. I just think I like the texture better. I'm not so much about mushy kind of, because there's when they are slightly speckled, then there's just parts of it that are kind of mushy, you know? You never know. It's kind of like a roulette. It's just kind of like which bite's going to be mushy, and I just don't like that.
See, I like that.
The thing
exciting.
you can do with the mushy banana is if they get too far gone, you can either freeze them so they don't die, and then you can like throw Nutella in there and make them into ice cream, and that's my favorite banana.
What? Natalie, you need to teach me.
Because I looked it up because
That's a
mine
lot.
went bad and I had too many of them and I couldn't eat them all, and I was like, oh no. And I like picked one up and then all of them came off the stem and I was like, they're gonna die.
Yeah.
So I had to put them all in a container, and then I was like, I don't know what to do with these. I put them in the freezer, and then I was like, well, Nutella will fix this, right?
Nutella fixes everything, yes.
See, here's the thing. When you have a banana that's slightly speckled, right, you have little brown spots on the outside of the skin. If you peel it back, usually it's not that bad. Like, usually some of it's pretty accurate, but sometimes where it's browning on the skin of the banana,
The
if you peel
peel.
it back, the actual banana itself doesn't really have, it might be a little softer there, but it's not going to be like brown and really mushy, you know? So that's why I'm like, I just enjoy, it's kind of like a, ooh, what's going to happen? Is it really,
surprise.
you know what I mean?
A surprise.
From nature's six-pack.
I
Exactly.
love that. That doesn't make any sense.
It is.
It's Dobie's quote of the day.
Yeah, that's
Did
perfect.
you know you can pull bananas off at the store apparently and just buy a couple of them?
From what?
You don't do that?
No, I didn't know.
She just gets a huge pack of them out of necessity.
What? Wait.
She, instead
I
of
didn't
taking-
know.
No, that's what I do. I buy the whole pack.
Yeah, see?
What are you, heathen? What?
What do you mean? Wait, what?
Wait. So you can just go to a grocery store and you can
Yank off the one
Okay.
that you want.
You can make off
So if
like
you do it-
3 if you want.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you do it right, then they still all stay together, both of them.
Oh.
You just kind of like, I don't know. So say that there's like 6 or something. You only want 3 of them. Then you just
Bro.
grab 3 in each hand and just pull them apart, and it'll keep both of them intact.
That's
But
legal.
I didn't know that.
Illegal? Who's gonna go?
I didn't know that until like maybe 2.5 weeks ago, and someone told me that. I was like, are you kidding?
Yeah. My mom used to do that a lot.
That's a
and
game
so,
changer.
yeah, I just learned from
It
that because
changes-
I don't think I would have assumed that you could do that either.
That's
'cause
why
it
you
seemed
my
like. That's why you like the
gosh.
green ones, is because you pull them off, and Dobie and I don't know how to do that.
because
we're just
you
used-
don't
we
have
are-
the time.
We are accustomed to having spotted bananas.
I can't.
Dude, I've wasted so many bananas. Because I would
I
get like
can't believe-
7. And I'd be like, how am I going to eat these bananas in 2 days?
This is the most.
You freeze them, Dobie, and then you put Nutella on them, and you have healthy ice cream. There's
Ooh,
your solution.
My roommate
My life is
also,
a
one of my
lie.
other roommates, she'll take whenever we inevitably forget about our bananas, like me and a few of my other roommates, she'll take the really brown, just disgusting looking ones, and she'll make them into banana bread or banana like muffins or
Yes.
something. Yeah, and they're pretty good. But anyways, I don't know how
Well,
she
then
does
those
it. But
people that bake that stuff, like if they buy fresh ones, they have to put it in a brown paper bag or something to try to turn them so they'll be like done enough that they can use them for that, because they have to be soft.
yes, interesting.
Can't
Well,
win.
you really can't win. Yeah. That's interesting.
This has been-
I can't believe that this shook you.
This has
Adobe.
been the best day of my life. Like I'm frustrated, but I'm also happy that I figured this out now. Then
He's just been getting 6 packs of bananas and not needing them.
that's why I was like, yo, well, that was great. This could have been a today I learned for me, you know. But
Yeah,
hey,
but we'll put up a poll on our Facebook so you can vote about the slightly greener, the speckled ones.
exactly. And we're going to find out which is really the best way. We'll be right back. We're going to talk a little bit more on our relationship segment, and we'll be right back to finish it off on the morning app.
And now back to the morning app on 90.5 WASU.
You thought I wasn't gonna hit it with the with the relationship track there for our relationship segment. What's up? Welcome back. Welcome to the morning app. How are you doing? You know, having a good morning. We were just talking about the Jonas Brothers and all this Disney Channel stuff, throwback stuff. But right now we're gonna talk about something a little bit crazier.
Okay.
Something a little bit more mature. Something a little bit more from the Netflix instead of the Disney Channel. We're going to talk about the new show, You, on Netflix, because Josh has been constantly asking me to go watch this show.
Yeah.
And
we talked about this. Josh and I were talking about this it was like a month ago or something. And you were like, what show?
what is this? Well, I guess it's not brand new then. I guess it's been out for a while.
Because even when I watched it, my roommate was like, yeah, it's been out for like a month or so.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy. I was like so disturbed watching it, I couldn't even finish it. I only got like 30 minutes into it. I actually didn't even finish the first episode.
You didn't?
No, it was just
Wait, okay, so
hard.
we're talking about the show and you haven't even seen all of it?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't like it.
Oh, my goodness. You have to get past the first episode.
It's too hard. It's just too cringy. I can't do it. It's just like, it makes me so uncomfortable. You know, and I think that's the thing is like you said during the break you have to kind of like you have to root for the guy, right?
It's not you have to root for him. It's the way that they frame the show. Since it's being told from his perspective, then you're low key since you're almost experiencing it with him, so you don't want him to get caught. You're kind of low-key like, oh no, like what if he gets caught kind of thing. And it's not until like later on when it starts getting worse that you're kind of like, oh, I really shouldn't be on his side at all. I mean, the whole time you're thinking that, but it starts out pretty low-key and then it gets really, really bad, like really just really creepy.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know what this show is, it is a Netflix show called You, and it's about a guy who is, I guess, just stalking a girl that he's interested in. That's pretty much the whole gist. You get to see kind of like the behind the scenes of all of that and how he uses social media to figure out like her routine down the T, but then he also gets like really philosophical about like figuring out why she does what and stuff. He like hangs out at her neighborhood and stuff like that. And is she the only one that is it based around just those two characters, or is there like what else can he figure out from?
I mean he like at one point he gets her phone, so he follows her to, I forget where it was, but she was reading her poetry at like an open mic night, and so then she got really drunk after because I think it just didn't go well. No one really responded well to it. And so then she was leaving and she fell in the subway, like in the tracks. And so then he was able to get her out before the narrow escape. So he was like the savior. And so then that's how they met again. Because they had met at the bookstore at first. And then that's how they met again. So then when they were in the cab, like going back home, like she was just going back to her place and then he was going back to his, and he took her phone and she's like, I can't find my phone anywhere, and so he just took it, and then she went and got a new one, but her iCloud was still connected, so all of her texts were still coming through, like he could see all of her texts.
Oh my
her
goodness.
emails, everything.
I can't do that, dude. I can't watch something like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting you said that because I was looking through just like top 10 signs that you might have a stalker. That just got me. I was just like, wow, this is a whole world I never even thought about.
No, because my roommates and I, after watching it, we will like shut our windows now all the time, like the blinds.
Yeah.
Because she has an apartment.
Thing.
She has an apartment, and it's just got these huge windows, so you can basically see everything inside. Which is in New York, I feel like that's just not the place to have. Nowhere is a good place, but somewhere where she lives on the street, people are just walking by all the time. And so anyways, he can stalk her that way because he's just literally just looking through the windows. And so Yeah, we just shut our blinds anyways, even though we know no one's. I don't know. It's just
But yeah,
puts you on
apparently
edge.
one of the stalking signs is the rescuing factor,
Mm-hmm.
because they know so much about you. They just happen to show up in these like situations where it's just almost perfect timing.
Yeah.
And
Because then it seems like a fate thing. She didn't
Yeah.
she didn't question why he was there in that part of New York. She just was like, oh man, he happened to be there. It was so lucky, like that we happened to meet again, kind of thing. And so it worked out really well for him.
Man, doesn't Taylor Swift have like an army of stalkers? Doesn't she have like something? I feel like I've always read in the like in a paper or something that, you know, she busted another stalker, or somebody tried to get into her house, or
There are a ton of people that are always trying to get. Actually, they tested out a software that was scanning because for one concert they tested out software because they knew there was one particular stalker in that area that was expected to go to that concert, even though they were forbidden to go. But they had facial recognition software at that concert scanning people's faces as they walked in, just to check out and make sure that person was not there. But she's got a really, really strong team to protect her because it's crazy.
That's insane.
It's wild.
A face recognition. Wow.
Yeah, but it's not like anybody knew about it. Like they found
No.
out about it after the fact because it was just set up somewhere. I think it was just scanning their faces.
just without them knowing.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah, because it's not something they could notice. It was
No.
just something that was set up and they just walked right past it.
Bro.
But they found him, like the person.
They didn't get in. If they had tried, they did not get in. I didn't hear anything
But it
about
was
that.
just they.
like, do we even do that for presidents? You know, like that's
Probably.
crazy. That's,
I feel like there's probably a lot of security we don't know about.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Things
true.
like that. Because that's, I don't
That's
yeah.
some high end stuff right there. That's like.
Because
she's
I mean
a
that's
queen or something.
she is a queen, but like that's the level of danger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, that's unbelievable.
But like at all of her different properties across the country, like they've got teams at every single one of them waiting.
Wow. That's, wow. I mean, it's something, though, that it's not something that I feel is a privacy concern, though, like a facial recognition thing. That's not really, as long as it's not saving.
It's not. It's not
I
invasive.
I don't mind going to concerts or something where they have that. If they're trying to get someone who's not good, like a terrible person,
Because you don't
then
want to be there with them either.
No. So I think I don't really mind that as a security thing.
No.
Like, that doesn't really. I feel like that doesn't really affect privacy.
Well,
as much.
if you buy a ticket, sometimes on the back of the ticket, it's like you buying the ticket is kind of your consent for
Yeah.
them to record you during the live if anything, or yeah, they figure out ways to kind of
Legally do the things
make
they
that
need to
legal.
do.
That makes sense.
But yeah, man, it's a crazy show. I may or may not finish that
I think
episode.
I think you should, because the first episode I was watching it, I was like, "There's no way they can make this into a full-blown show.
Right.
This should have just been a movie." But once you move on from the first episode, it starts kind of developing more of a plot, and you can kind of.
I see. I guess that makes sense.
There's like a couple plot twists that happen that also make it more interesting. So I would recommend finishing it, Dovey, before you get any strong opinions
It's
on
causing him so much stress, though.
it. I know, yeah.
Well, I'll definitely try, and I'll probably talk about it with Josh or bring it up on the show. I don't know. Still debating, but here's Love Bug, Jonas Brothers. After this, we're going to be right back, and we're going to finish up the show for you.
And now back to your favorite morning talk show, The Morning App, on 90.5 WASU.
Wrapping up our show real quick. Quick thing to talk about. Something I haven't really been thinking about. Spring break is happening like the beginning of March, right?
Yes.
So technically next week is kind of our last week before we are finally on spring break. And that's something I have not been thinking about at all.
Our spring break starts Thursday morning, y'all.
Ooh, yeah.
Dude, that's true, because we're going to IBS in New York. Hopefully coming back with some trophies for the best morning college radio talk show.
We'll see.
I hope they're not listening now.
I know. They're
We'll
like,
see.
well, since you didn't even say the title right, no.
We're coming back with trophies.
Disqualified.
IBS.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, do y'all have any plans, anything cool, anything in mind for the spring break?
Besides the New York trip, really nothing.
Yeah, that'll be enough, honestly.
That'll be pretty
I
exciting.
could do that and go back to work.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, exactly.
So-
I might go home, but we'll see. Yeah.
I think sleeping would be the vacation in itself.
Honestly, just catching up on some Netflix shows.
Absolutely. Watch a little bit of You.
Oh my god.
No,
Just
no,
a bit of light TV watching.
no alarms. I think that should be the goal of everybody. is to
Quality
try
time
to-
with your pillow.
Yes.
Exactly.
No, it's so weird when you do get a break and you don't have to set an alarm. It's like you just feel like something's wrong.
Time isn't
I'm
real.
going to sleep and I'm like, I guess I don't need to set an alarm. There's no time I really need to be up.
What is this
Not like I can sleep past 9 anyways now, but it's like, I don't know. And then you wake up, you're kind of like half awake, kind of, and you're like, oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't have to actually wake up now.
It's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Healthy.
It's very nice, very nice. It's one of those things though at this point, since I have such a routine of getting up at around the same time literally every day, that I don't think I could sleep. I usually can't sleep past 8 or 9 now, even when I can sleep in. So it's kind of annoying. I'm like, come on, this was your chance.
But then by the end of spring break, then you will have messed up your schedule, and then
I'll
you'll
be
come
getting up
back
at
and
11
be-
again. And we're all messed up.
That's life. We're just getting old, man. I can't. I wake up at 7 and then I try to go to sleep and I can't. And I'm like, I'm so mad. I can't do this.
Yeah.
It means I have to go to bed earlier. But spring break is still spring break. But we still have one more week, and we will be here next week to help you make it through that little last hoorah before we're all free and we'll be good to go. Thank you for tuning into the Morning App. We'll see you guys on Monday.